Hi there, my name is Mitrianna Streckfuss. I'm a CNA, or a Certified Nursing Assistant, and I'm here to educate you about dementia. This podcast is about myths related to dementia. There are two myths about dementia that I want to make very clear are false. Myth 1. Dementia is only forgetfulness in seniors. Dementia is actually a blanket statement covering many different symptoms, some of which might not be completely obvious. Though forgetfulness is a signature symptom of dementia, it is not the only one. Myth 2. Dementia is its own disease. Dementia is actually the result of many different diseases, such as Alzheimer's disease, which I will be mainly focusing on in my podcast because it affects about 80% of the population ages 65 and over. There's also Parkinson's disease, Lou Gehrig's disease, and cardiovascular diseases such as a stroke. So what really happens when someone has dementia? During the early stages of Alzheimer's-related dementia, the person or their family begins to notice strange symptoms. One story I've heard is about this older gentleman who is driving his wife, let's call them Alan and Jane, to church, an activity they had been doing every Sunday for the past 50 years. There was an intersection, one that Alan had stopped at thousands of times, but on this particular morning, he drove right through. Alan said that he noticed the stop sign, but it did not quite click in his mind that he needed to stop. There was something missing in the eye to brain to foot connection. I find this story particularly interesting because it's not the typical, oh, I forgot who you are story. This man, Alan, if but for a brief moment, forgot what it all meant. Luckily, the couple crossed safely. Unfortunately, their problems were only just beginning. The question is, why wasn't he able to make that connection? Why wasn't he able to perform this automatic response he had been able to do so many times before? It relates to a bigger question of why do people with dementia forget newer events more often? Examination of the brain of someone suffering from dementia reveals a physical shrinkage in their brain. This shrinkage results in memory interruptions, so they don't remember the birth of their great-grandchild because they lack the physical memory space to put that new memory. In our brains, we have very small cells called neurons that send electrical pulses through them, and these electrical pulses are the information being sent to us from our five senses: touch, taste, smell, auditory, and sight. Imagine your brain is like a huge system of telephone wires. Each phone call, each word is like an electrical pulse being sent through the wires to another telephone pole. So what happens to these wires during the cold winter months? The wires become taut, pulling on everything they are connected to. Alzheimer's disease is analogous to the freezing cold weather. The neurons lose their plasticity and become taut. As they shrink, they physically pull on the connected brain matter, resulting in a reduced brain size. Examining a normal brain and a brain afflicted with Alzheimer's shows a striking difference in overall mass. We've been talking a lot about the physical attributes, the things that you can see. But what about the non-physical attributes, the changes in attitude and behavior and other noticeable small details? In 2010, a group of researchers wanted to look at the different symptoms associated with the early and late stages of Alzheimer's development. They found that simply through observation, it was possible to use these symptoms to diagnose the stages the person was in. Throughout their journey with Alzheimer's, a person maintains a few symptoms such as depression, change in concentration, loss of cooperation, increased pacing, so more frequent walking back and forth, change in appetite, anxiety, and agitation. There are a few symptoms, however, that are very present in the beginning but decrease later, such as tearfulness and apathy. These are very emotional symptoms, which could be caused by the frustrations that goes hand in hand with suffering from dementia. Other symptoms that occur later in the journey through dementia includes delusions, hallucinations, tremors, and delirium. I would say that these are symptoms that occur when there is a loss of the brain-to-body connectivity. Some information in the brain is not reaching its final destination in the body, or it is creating other strange connections and getting lost along the way. Remembering the symptoms mentioned in this list will help us as caretakers or children of parents with dementia to act accordingly and figure out how to spend time with that person without frustrating or stressing them out and yourself out. So there we go. Remember that dementia is a set of symptoms and not a disease. Myths busted. So I need to go and help some other residents, but is there anything else I can help you with?